Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and your daily Chelsea update. And I tell you what, guys, Monday, start of the week, and it is a big start to the week, guys. Plenty to dive into. Chelsea have finally announced the appointment of Enzo Maresca on a 5-year contract. Good news there. New manager in place. The era of baldness is beginning at Stamford Bridge. And who knows, we could be cooking or things could go south and get even worse. But let's stay on the positive side of things. Slightly bad news is that Robert Sanchez is going to be staying at Chelsea, and Enzo Maresca is reportedly a big fan of his and believes he can get the best out of Sanchez and his ball-playing ability. We're going to dive into all that. So having had all those briefs about goalkeepers being linked with goalkeepers, Jorgensen, Mamadashvili, Valles, that other keeper the other day, been linked, and James Trafford and whatnot, linked to 3 or 4 keepers. As soon as Maresca's announced, suddenly, Robert Sanchez and Georgia Petrovic are both staying, and we're now not signing a goalkeeper. So, yeah, interesting there. So we're going to dive into all that. Obviously, Chelsea confirmed Maresca, as I said. Chelsea's bid to get Reece James's suspension for his red card against Brighton overturned has been rejected. Of course, Chelsea will not loan out Amari Hutchinson, exclusive from Fabrizio. Chelsea will not loan out Amari Hutchinson this summer. The only way he leaves is a permanent deal. So basically what we're saying is that Hutchinson is done because he's not going to play next season. So he will be leaving on a permanent this summer. Chelsea feel like, this is my opinion anyway, Chelsea feel like this is the best chance they're going to get decent cash for him. And it looks like they're going to cash in. So we're going to dive into the Hutchinson stuff as well. Amanda Broja edging closer to the exit deal. Wolves, Monaco and Bologna all chasing his signature. The Athletic have revealed why Thomas Frank and Roberto De Zerbi missed out on the Chelsea job. So there is loads and loads to get into. Already 77 people in the building. Big up to every single one of you that is locked in, guys. Make sure you're smashing that like button, people. 84 in the building. Let's get this up to well over 100 likes, guys. You lot know what to do. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well, guys. We are edging ever closer to 10,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber helps. If you're locked in now, you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, join the journey, become part of the channel. And remember, at the big 10K, guys, there is a shirt giveaway of your choice, Chelsea shirt, for the upcoming season when the club get themselves together and announce it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the likes. Let's run the show. Let's run the show. I'm going to say hello to a few people in the chat first, and then we're going to get going. Do you think we'll get the press conference? Well, Maresca's on holiday at the moment, so we're not going to get it. We'll get it before pre-season, or maybe it will be at pre-season or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. Yep, Quaver's been announced as well. Yeah, I'll sort of share those feelings. Look, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I'm not prepared to go into a new manager in a new season thinking it's going to be shit. You know, we've got to go in open-minded and hoping for the best, back the manager, back the team, and see what happens. This is why you don't hire mid-managers, because they always think they can do more than they can. Now we have to suffer Sanchez for another season. Look, again, let's wait and see. What I would say, just briefly, before we will dive into this Sanchez in more detail, is, you know, players do deserve a second chance. I know he's not done particularly well this season. It appears like he's not good enough. He's nervy and whatnot. But, you know, a new manager, some faith, some belief in him, it could transform. I'm not saying it will, but there is also that trail of thought potentially as well. Yes, big up. Yes, big up, brother. The era of baldness is here. We're cooking. Big up, yes, brother. Can't believe Sanchez is staying. Fair. People are crying over Amari leaving. Well, look, again, I'm not sure we're going to get Elise, but Amari Hutchinson was always going to be one of those guys that was coming on a free and was going to be flipped on for profit. That's the Chelsea model. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Well, I'll tell you what, it could well be. There could be a few. There could certainly be a few issues. Let's make no mistake about it. There could certainly be a few issues. He's no good with his hands, let alone his feet. He's an all right shot stopper, to be fair. So not a great start. The guy is Frank Sinclair as a goalkeeper. No, it appears not. I believe that from what's coming out, Chelsea will not be signing a new goalkeeper. Guys, there's so much stuff coming in. If you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, please make sure you use the super chat function. Any donation is greatly appreciated. I'll get back to some more things in the chat later on, people. But let's dive into the news then. Let's go through the announcement of Enzo Maresca first. Let's briefly read through the Chelsea club statement announcing Maresca. So Chelsea Football Club is delighted to announce the appointment of Enzo Maresca as new head coach of the men's team. The Italian will begin his role on July 1st on a 5-year contract with a club option of a further year. Could be 6-year settings. Of course, I expect, though, there will be break clauses in there if things aren't going particularly well. And look, let's be real here. You've got to be realistic. I think there's slim to zero chance he gets anywhere near seeing that out. If he sees it out over half of it, he's done exceptionally well. Exceptionally well if he sees out half of it. I also understand, guys, that is pretty small writing. So let me just zoom in on this. There we go. So the Italian will begin his new role on 1st of July on a 5-year contract. Yeah, Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, Chelsea's co-sporting director, says, "We're delighted to welcome Enzo to Chelsea. He's proven himself to be an excellent coach, capable of delivering impressive results with an exciting, identifiable style. Enzo has deeply impressed us in our discussions leading up to his appointment. His ambitions and work ethic align with those of the club. We thoroughly look forward to working with him." And there he is, Diet Pep. Chelsea's ownership group said, "We're thrilled to welcome Enzo into the Chelsea family. We look forward to supporting him and the rest of the sporting team in fulfilling their potential and our expectations over the years to come. He is a highly gifted coach and leader that we are confident can help fulfill our vision and competitive goals for the club." Maresca said, "To join Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the world, is a dream for any coach. It is why I'm so excited by this opportunity. I look forward to working with a very talented group of players and staff to develop a team that continues the club's traditions of success and makes our fans proud." And in his playing career, he won 2 UEFA Cups with Sevilla, amongst some other things. Championship winner with Leicester, assistant manager in the treble season, and he won the PL2 with Man City during his time in the academy. So yeah, Maresca is in, guys. The era of baldness is upon us. So yeah, we're cooking. No, Tosin is not official yet. That's expected to come this week. It was always going to be announced. Maresca was always going to be the first announcement, and then the Tosin announcement will follow later on. No players were going to be announced before the manager's been announced. So Enzo is in for the door. Announced statement from Chelsea. We know the drill now. We're used to reading these out, guys. They're like clockwork on the Chelsea website. But let's move into the more important matters then. So Maresca obviously announced, confirmed. We all knew this anyway. It's been a long time coming. But let's get into the major news then. Having been briefed with goalkeepers, we're getting XYZ goalkeepers and whatnot. Now coming out saying that, understand, Chelsea new coach Maresca told the board that he really likes Robert Sanchez. Maresca looking forward to working with the Spanish goalkeeper next season as he believes Robert is ready for the next phase of his career. Chelsea expect Sanchez to stay at the club this summer. I'll be honest, that I wasn't expecting that, purely based on the news that had come out over the last few days, linking us with multiple goalkeepers, Jorgensen, Mamadashvili, James Trafford, Valles. But now suddenly, I don't know if those links were genuine or it was a smoke screen, or I don't know. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it's now seemingly like Robert Sanchez is going to stay. So, I mean, how do I feel about the news? Well, I'll be honest. The initial reaction is, yeah, not great. Not great. I'm not a huge fan of this. I think he did very well at Brighton under Graham Potter, but he hasn't done that well at Chelsea. He started reasonably well, but it just looks like he's got so many mistakes in him. He's nervy with the ball at his feet, and he doesn't fill me with confidence. I don't think he feels a defensive confidence either. I think, he's not covered himself in glory, and he was replaced at the end of the season. That's the reality. He was replaced. Yes, he got injured, but then when he was back fit again, he didn't get back in the team because ultimately he's not good enough in my view. So look, I don't want to write Maresca off before he's even set foot through the door. But the reality is, though, is this is, I would say it's a big gamble. It's not a huge gamble, but, you know, I don't know whether Maresca had ideas that he wanted a new keeper, but then the board were like, actually, do you know what? We've just signed 2 goalkeepers last summer on 7-year contracts. They're going to be pretty hard to shift either one of them. We're not going to get anywhere near our money's worth for back on Sanchez. We're not going to sell Petrovic. You're going to have to make this work. That's what I think. You know, I suspect that, you know, Maresca maybe had ideas of wanting to bring a new goalkeeper in, but the reality of the situation was that given we'd signed 2 keepers last summer on 7-year deals, it was probably going to be pretty tough to shift them. It was probably going to be pretty tough to shift them. So we find ourselves in a situation where we're almost, I don't say stuck, but look, Maresca might have told the board that he likes Sanchez. And what I would say is, in fairness, is that, you know, just because a player's not done that well under one manager doesn't mean that he suddenly can't do well under another one. It's a clean start for everyone. It's not great. I mean, look, Sanchez's reputation is pretty down at the moment. I've got to be honest. You know, it wasn't a good first season for him at all. He's definitely got lapses in concentration. You know, but I think that can improve. And who knows? Maybe with a better build-up phase and a better structure, then he could do better. You know, I'm not sure. I'm just a bit, I don't know, just a little bit unconvinced. Yeah, no, he did. He did. Yeah, he absolutely did. Yeah, I get the I have the same feeling, but ultimately, you know, we're going to have to get behind him. We're going to have to get behind the manager, and we're going to have to back this, because there isn't any other choice unless you just want to decide that you're going to be negative from day one, which I'm not about that. Why is everyone so critical towards Sanchez? Yes, he had some mistakes, but he has a decent passing ability. Yeah, of course, there's absolutely every chance that, you know, Maresca could turn Sanchez around. And do you know what? I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love Sanchez to prove me wrong. I'd love Maresca to get a tune out of him, because you know, that's what it's about. You know, is improving the players you've got and whatnot. So I would love to be proven wrong about Robert Sanchez, but my personal feelings on him, I just don't think he's that great. I really don't. But you know, I'm here to be wrong. You know, I've watched him a number of times. You know, he's got decent quality. Look, let's make it clear. He's got decent qualities, but he's a guaranteed mistake maker. And it's been proven over multiple seasons. He made mistakes at Brighton. He made mistakes last season. Yes, he's a good shot stopping ability, but he's just a goalkeeper that has got a mistake in him. And until proven otherwise, I just can't get on board with that. You know, the Athletic reporting that Maresca believes he can get the best out of Sanchez's ability to pass out from the back. I'm struggling to see what ability that was, because I went to a lot of games last season, watched him play a lot. What passing ability was that? Because sometimes, granted, it was good. Other times, it was like he'd never kicked a football before. There was no level of consistency to it. It was either decent, but 9 times out of 10, either picked a pass out, either played someone into trouble, or he just kicked it straight out and gave possession away. It was one of those 3 things every time. And generally speaking, it was playing a player into trouble, or booting it straight out of play and giving possession away. You know, he doesn't fill me with confidence. You know, I feel nervous when he's playing, nervous when he's on the ball at the back. You know, all these things, which I think are absolutely fair. But look, you know, I'm giving my thoughts on it. I'm not about to slam the manager who's literally not even got a foot through the door yet for thinking he can improve a player. that's on him. That's his choice, and I look forward to seeing what he can do. I'm just saying from my experience and from what I've seen of Robert Sanchez, I'm not convinced that he's the goalkeeper for Chelsea. I'm not convinced that he's the guy to help us move forward, and he's the goalkeeper that can sort us out. But I think what this does mean is that I think this is clear in my mind that Robert Sanchez is going to be the number one next season. I think that's what that proves. I think Robert Sanchez is going to be the number one next season. That's what I think this news shows. Again, Petrovic is beginning to, Petrovic's done well. And again, Maresca apparently said in talks that he was impressed by him. But I get the feeling that he sees Sanchez as the number one. I also get the feeling that at the time, I said it at the time when we were signing Sanchez, I think he was going to be the number one. And I still believe that to be the case. I think that he'll be, I think he'll be the number one. But let's see. Because look, let's be real, right? Robert Sanchez is not dog shit. He was very good at Brighton, one of the best keepers in the league at Brighton under Graham Potter. Then it went south under De Zerbi. He gets a move to Chelsea, which I think surprised a lot of people. And then he didn't particularly do that well. I do think he's got good abilities there. But Maresca's going to have to get out that magic wand to fix Sanchez and correct him from passing the ball directly to an opponent every fucking game, because it was happening without fail. It was happening. Again, it's clear Maresca's been. Look, it depends how you look at it. It's tricky, isn't it? I'm finding it hard to understand why we've been linked with so many goalkeepers over the last few days, and then suddenly on the day that the manager's announced, it's then suddenly announced that he really likes the current goalkeepers at the club and that they're both staying. That surely can't be a coincidence. Why were there links there? I suspect that Petrovic probably did want. Sorry, not Petrovic. I suspect that Maresca did want a new goalkeeper, but then maybe it became apparent that a new goalkeeper wasn't going to be signed, and you've got to make do with what you've got. Ultimately, we're never going to know because we're not privy to those conversations, and we're not there. But I think there's enough evidence to come to a conclusion that it appears clear that Maresca probably did want a new goalkeeper, but he was maybe told otherwise. Look, we've just signed two keepers. They're on 7-year contracts. You need to make. You're going to have to make it work with these guys. That's how I see it. But I think it's also fair, having criticised, it's also fair to point out that there could be a chance. And look, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I think you have to. I always look to provide balance. So I'm not happy with this. I'm not a fan of Robert Sanchez. I'd love to be proven wrong, and I hope the manager and Sanchez both prove me wrong on this point. But there is also the counterpoint that, do you know what? With a new manager, new ideas, perhaps a better tactical setup, Sanchez could look better. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we have to. I think it's only right and fair to provide balance. From both sides of the argument. Even though I don't sit on the more positive side, I think it's important to add that for context and balance of the argument, because there is a chance that could happen. And ultimately, I'm not about writing people off straight away. I think players deserve a chance. I think Maresca, deserves a chance to prove that he can improve players that are already at the club. I'm just not convinced on Sanchez. Like a lot of people are not convinced on Sanchez in the chat here. In the chat here. So much coming in. It's almost as if Sanchez wants to invite all the pressure. It certainly feels like that. It feels like, do you know what it is, right? I think he's got good capabilities. His decision-making is one. Not only is his decision-making poor, his decision-making, he also takes way too long to make any sort of decisions. So That is something that needs to improve as well. Watched the Leicester game again, flapped at every cross, thought he was Superman at one stage. Yeah, look, there's clear flaws there. And as I've said, I'm not a fan of him. But ultimately, I'm not going to slam the manager because he's just walked through, like the second he's walked through the door. I'm just going to have to hope that I'm proven wrong on this. I just don't have it. Yeah, Maresca has to be back, no doubt about it. If Maresca gets a tune out of Sanchez, then he could be him. Hope he does, but skeptical. Yeah, I'm massively skeptical. But yeah, ultimately, let's wait and see. We've got to put trust in the bald man. Let's see what happens. Be interesting to see if he wanted Gallagher and Chalobah. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever find out if that was the case or not. And you know, when stuff comes out as well, and let's be clear, by the way, everything that comes out is only what the club want you to hear. So whatever it is, the club sources or the club themselves, whatever gets briefed and is reported is what the club want you to hear. That's the version they want you to hear. So there might be some truth in it, but it might not be the whole truth. So I think it's important, right? This has been reported. This is what the club want you to know. I suspect the actual truth is something a little bit more different, whereas you were told you're not having a new goalkeeper. We've signed two. They're on long-term contracts. You need to improve Sanchez. We brought him in as a number one. You've got to try and make this work. If he was a youngster starting out, yes, but he's set in his ways and won't improve. Look, I think he's 26 years of age. That's still pretty young for a goalkeeper. I think goalkeepers definitely hit their primes a lot later than outfield players. But yeah, you know, I remain massively unconvinced. I've got to be real, massively unconvinced about him. And I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to be interesting to see how he does, because every time he played last season, yeah, he made some good saves in games and had some good distribution here and there. But ultimately, I just felt nervous every time he was in goal and every time he was on the ball. Look, I don't think he can't control the ball. It's just his decision making is poor. He takes too long. But I do feel there are the fundamental base level attributes there to be good. It just depends. Can Maresca? It's going to require a lot of coaching from Maresca and a big turnaround. That's it. Now, brother, we're not going to be signing any goalkeepers this summer. I think that's pretty clear. Unless there's a miraculous change of heart, we're not going to be signing any goalkeepers. You know, Rob Sanchez and Petrovic are both expected to be at the club next season, so we will not be signing any new goalkeepers. By the way, guys, 220 people in the building. Big love to everyone that's locked in. We're only on 66 likes though, guys. It's a big day today. Big day today. Smash that like button, people. Let's get this up and over 100 likes. That should be light work. Light work, guys. Smash the thumbs up button. It's free. It takes seconds, and it really helps boost the content in the YouTube algorithm, and it gets more eyes on the channel. So run it up, run it up, run it up. And also, guys, 230 now in the building. Subscribe to the channel. Shirt giveaway at 10K for one lucky subscriber. We are edging ever closer, guys. Keep smashing a subscribe button. Let's try and get another 10, 20, 30 subscribers. Move up to 9.8K. I think it's 30 subscribers required. So let's try and do it, people. Smash the subscribe button. Join the channel. Join the community. And yeah, let's get cracking. 100% agree about Sanchez. I'm surprised about Hutchinson. We're going to get into that. The question is, Petrovic should be number one. Yeah, I absolutely agree. The question is, do the defenders trust him? I think it was clear last season they didn't, but with new shape, new work, maybe, you know, a new partnership and whatnot, that might change. I don't know. Brighton killed him, done well under Potter, then fell out with De Zerbi and lost all confidence. Yeah, I absolutely agree, because under Graham Potter, he was legit one of the best keepers in the Premier League. He really was. So the ability's there, but I think, yeah, the fallout with De Zerbi, then becoming Brighton's third choice, coming into a difficult situation at Chelsea, it's not really helped him. But yeah, and maybe that's changed people's view on him, but you can only go off what you've seen. And what we've seen most recently from him is not great. I'll be real. I'll be real. Should be able to get fourth. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Should be able to get fourth. Sanchez is good enough in my mind to get top four, but this is not about that. It's about is he the right guy? And I just don't think he is. One time against Brighton in the cup, he just he does it regularly. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything about Hermanson or how good he was before. What's going to happen is after many errors from Sanchez, Petrovic will take over, and we have this talk about the keeper again. But he's been back. He's been back with Ben Roberts though. Ben Roberts is the goalkeeper coach from Brighton. He was part of the reason Sanchez come to the club. So I don't really understand what's going on here. I don't understand what's going on here. He's working with people he knows. It just hasn't happened. What else is coming on? No, he's not. What I'm saying is, the team, it's good enough to finish top four with Sanchez in goal. It doesn't mean that Sanchez is a top four level goalkeeper. It just means that, in my mind, we can still, if with Sanchez in goal, we can still finish top four. I don't think that's unrealistic thing to say. I'm just massively unconvinced on him and think he should be sticking with Petrovic, and ultimately I think Sanchez probably should have gone. I mean, there's every chance he could be the number two, but I don't see that. I don't see that being the case. Kepa will come back. His loan spell with Real Madrid is finished, but he's got a year left on his contract, and he will 100% be sold. I don't even care how much money we get for him. Just get his wages off the books. That's the most important thing. Wages must be removed from the books. Simple as that. I think there's a chance we get a new goalkeeper, but there may be an issue that Chelsea can't move on. Yeah. Third and fourth wide open. Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely is. That's why this is so important. But yeah, look, I don't know how to feel about this. I'm certainly surprised. I don't know if I'd go as far as it being a major red flag. He's a shot stopper, but he's a good shot stopper. But if we're going to play out from the back, certainly from what we've seen last season, he's a liability. But at the same time, people are saying back the manager, and then they're straight away on his back for reportedly liking Sanchez. So you've got to kind of have a bit of balance here. If we're being honest. Excuse me, guys. And then Fabrizio Romano also adding that there's good chances that Robert Sanchez will be the Chelsea number one next season. I suspect he already knows that Sanchez probably is going to be the number one next season. It's look, I don't want to say it's underwhelming. It's just a little bit disappointing. I'll be real. It's just a little bit disappointing in my mind. But we have to see. We've got to trust the manager, and we have to back it. We have to back it and trust him to do his work, and hope that he's good enough. So let's wait and see what happens on. Let's wait and see what happens on that, guys. Let's wait and see what happens on that front. But that is the big news from today, along with the Enzo Maresca announcement. Kobel? I mean, look, Chelsea have been linked with Kobel in the past. I think what we have to accept is that it's tough to. It's going to be tough to move players on, particularly players that have literally just walked through the door. I don't know if there'd be any takers for Sanchez whatsoever. That's the reality of the situation. I'm not sure if there would be any takers for him. Certainly at the price that we're looking for. Caballero is not coming in as a goalkeeper coach. He's coming in as an assistant. He was Maresca's assistant at Leicester, and he will be the assistant as well at Chelsea. So no, he's not coming in as a goalkeeping coach. Sanchez couldn't catch a cold. Fair enough. He's also not that good in the air. No. That is a question that I don't know the answer to, and something that I can't really get my head around. It's something that is, something that is confusing me. I'll be real. It is something that is majorly confusing me. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. In less than 24 hours of joining, Maresca's already made a mistake with Sanchez. He's got to go. What are you asking for the manager to go or Sanchez? We'll know more by the end of this month. I have a feeling all our signing and sales will be done by then. Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. I'm hoping we can move quickly. Although it depends, with the Euros, it's always harder to get business done. But the toss-in deal sort of appeared out of nowhere. So maybe a deal or two could just appear out the blue before the Euros. But I don't know how much business is going to be done like during the tournament. Yeah, you could use him in the Conference League, sure, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be a Conference League goalkeeper. So I wouldn't imagine those are the plans. Any coach wanting Sanchez as number one in a top four club already starts the job badly. Fair enough. What else is coming in? Yeah, no, it wasn't just him. It was reported by a number of outlets, a number of people that Chelsea wanted a new goalkeeper because Maresca had asked for a new goalkeeper. So what I would say as well, though, is that when facts change, opinions can change. Opinions can change as well. Ultimately, at the time, football's fast moving. So what might have been the case a week ago, maybe a week later, isn't necessarily the case. This is what I mean. Just because something's said at that point in time, which something can be right at a certain point of time, and then a week later can be the same situation can be different. So it doesn't mean that it was wrong at the time. It just means that the situation has changed. And I suspect that is exactly what's happened here, is that Chelsea were looking for a new goalkeeper, but that has now changed. Is my view on it. Yeah, bro, we're not going to get a new goalkeeper. No, certainly wasn't when Pochettino left, I didn't have Maresca on my radar at all. But when the list of candidates came out, he was probably the best option on there. So no, absolutely not going to sit here and say that. Oh, Jesus. Choking on that Sanchez news. Oh, Jesus, that Sanchez news making me choke, guys. Oh, fucking hell. No, I didn't want Maresca. It wasn't my choice, but yeah. Ultimately, this PR about goalkeeper is same as manager PR, just like all PR about it. The board is all about smoke and mirrors. If we don't get our act together, it'll be 3 years of missing top four. Yeah, we need to get our act together, no doubt. But yeah, anyway, Sanchez, we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a long summer, guys. It's going to be a long, long summer. But let's move away from the Sanchez stuff and let's move on to something else quickly. What I would just quickly say, though, on all the Maresca stuff is that it's now Maresca obviously believes that the team's good enough for top four and all that. So basically, we've been briefed that the team is good enough for a top four finish. So what happens then, guys, if or when we narrowly miss out or we get hit with situations the manager can't control, for example? Does that mean that he gets sacked sort of 9 or 10 months or a year into a 5-year contract? It feels like there's a lot of unanswered questions, Is it literally a case of if you do not hit the targets, there's a break clause in the contract and you'll be gone? I mean, is it as cutthroat as that? I mean, I've got no idea. So there's clearly a lot of questions here. Oh, he's already been announced. It's on the Chelsea website. He's not done a press conference or anything like that because he's still on holidays and whatnot. But it's been announced. It's all done, official, everything. But yeah, it just raises questions. What happens if we have another injury crisis? What happens, partway through the season, as I say, the Champions League is not going to happen, do you then just give up 8-9 months into a 5-year project? Like, what happens here? Do we have a situation where obviously there'll be break clauses in the contract, but is there going to be a situation where there's break clauses in the contract and it's simply as, it doesn't matter how long you've been here, if you miss out on the top 4, even if it's your first season, there's a clause in the contract that we can get rid of you. I mean, is that what we're doing here? I've got no idea. So yeah, anyway, what we're going to do now, guys, is we are going to quickly move on to some other bits of news. Let's quickly cover the candidates that missed out on the job before we get into some more transfer news. Now, The Athletic reporting, The Athletic must have had this ready to go, because literally as soon as the announcement came, the Maresca announcement, like article dropped saying that XYZ candidates had missed out. Thomas Frank came close to the Chelsea job. However, he lost out on the style of play front, with his football seen as more defensive and not possession-based. There were doubts that he suited the Chelsea squad. Okay, fine. But surely you knew before speaking to him, you know what his style of play is. And it's not the style of play that you wanted. Surely you would have known before you spoken to him. You might have had doubts over whether he suited the squad. So why was he consistently on the list? And why was why did they hold meetings with him? It doesn't make sense. I'm just kind of confused about everything that's going on at this football club right now. This sort of shit doesn't make sense. It's it's interesting, isn't it? Surely you know this beforehand. Surely you know beforehand that you know what his style of play is like. You know it's not what you're looking for. So why have you gone any further? But yeah, the reason why Thomas Frank missed out on the Chelsea job is because of a style of play and doubts over whether he suited the squad or not. Roberto De Zerbi as well was never considered, guys. Wasn't seriously considered, Roberto De Zerbi. That is the main news there. That is the main news there. Let me just find it now. So Chelsea respected De Zerbi as a coach, but the sheer number of clubs he had worked for in a short period, combined with what looked like disagreements with Brighton over the transfer policy, meant he was never under serious consideration. Now, whether he was under serious consideration or not, we'll never know. That's what they want us to hear. Who knows? But that is why Maresca that's why De Zerbi and Frank missed out. Anyway, let's move on to this Amari Hutchinson stuff, because that is fresh news, and we will get into the striker front and all this. Exclusive from Fabrizio. Chelsea won't loan out Amari Hutchinson again this summer. Permanent deal is the only way. Chelsea would only consider bids of around 25 to 30 million pounds for Hutchinson. Understand Stuttgart are pushing a lot to sign him. Favourites at the moment, with more clubs in the Premier League. Ajax and Feyenoord also keen. So it appears, guys, that Chelsea have taken a decision to sell Amari Hutchinson this summer. Chelsea have taken a decision to sell Amari Hutchinson this summer, looking for 25, 30 million pounds, and Stuttgart are currently leading the race. How do I feel about this? Ultimately, it would have been nice to see Hutchinson get a go. No, Hutchinson is not going to be staying. He's not being loaned out. So, bids will come in and he'll be gone. I suspect that Hutchinson will absolutely be sold. And the favourites, of course, are Stuttgart right now. Champions League football, second in the Bundesliga. Could be a good move for him. But look, I think it's clear, it was an opportunity. I say opportunistic. It was an opportunity, signed on a free once his Arsenal contract expired. He was always going to be one of those that was flipped on for a profit. He was always going to be one of those. It just needed, a loan spell, a good loan spell to boost his value and get eyes on him. And I can understand why Chelsea would be looking to entertain a sale now, because let's be honest, 25, 30 million pounds for someone that was free 2 years ago is good business. Is good business. You could have loaned him out again this season, and he could have done better and increased his value. But there's also the chance, like when Broja went out on loan, it might not go as well again, and then his value dips. So look, ultimately for me, I think this is probably the right thing to do. And I think there's got to be an understanding as well that not every player is going to make it at Chelsea. That's the reality. You've got to realize that guys that come in on frees or cheap transfer fees are the ones that are most likely going to be flipped on for a profit. And Hutchinson will go and have a very, very good career. But I think it's clear that I don't really believe there was any intention for him to be part of the Chelsea first team. I don't believe there were any intentions for him to be part of the Chelsea first team. This was purely one where we took an opportunity to sign him on a free from Arsenal, and we were going to flip him. And do you know what? Fair play. No, this part of the model is what I think is good. What I think clearly works well is finding players on a free or cheap, and then they do well for a season or two, and then you flip them on. Fine. It's business. It's going to be 25, 30 million pounds in the bank. That's the way it is. He had only one good season. I think he needed 2 loan spells to show his full potential. Well, maybe. Hoping Elise gets done soon. We're going to look into that, but that won't be done. That won't be done anytime soon. I hope they put a sell-on clause in Hutchinson's deal. Yeah, a sell-on clause would be good. I don't expect there'll be any buyback clause to be released, but I think Chelsea will definitely try and negotiate some sort of sell-on fee for sure. Yep, I agree with this. It's always tempting to want to get a little bit more. It's always tempting to want more, but ultimately, if you go for more, you could end up with less. So it's probably important to keep that down. It's probably important to keep it down. To get it done, just to get it done right now. Cash in whilst his stocks are high. Get your money and move on and invest that in other areas of the squad, and that's exactly what the club are doing. So I think that's okay in my view. I think it's all right. No, it's absolutely a shame that he's not going to get an opportunity because I think he's a good player. He's proven he's a good player, but ultimately there's a lot of good players at Chelsea, and not everyone's going to make it. So whether he goes to Ipswich, whether he goes to Stuttgart, I suspect that Ipswich probably could get that 25, 30 million pounds together. I suspect Stuttgart or certainly Ajax or Feyenoord aren't going to pay that money for him. So let's wait and see what happens. But I think it's clear that Amari Hutchinson will be leaving Chelsea this summer. Guys, there's still over 250 in the building. Only 113 likes. Smash that like button, people. It's free. It takes seconds. I'm not asking for any money. Hit the like button. Let's get this up to 150. Let's get it up towards 200 likes, guys. So keep smashing the thumbs up button. And subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. We are racing towards 10,000 subscribers. So make sure you are doing that right now. Hit the subscribe button, become part of the channel. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers. We're close now, people. We're close. We're about 220 away. So let's try and get all these chalks off, guys. We need 28 more subscribers to 9.8k. People, that's a big ask, but I reckon we can do it. There must be 28 people in here that are not subscribed to the channel. So smash that subscribe button, join the journey, join the community, and of course, get yourself in with a chance of winning a Chelsea shirt of your choice from the upcoming season. So yeah, Hutchinson looks like he's on his way out. It could part fund a move for Elise. Let's wait and see. Yep, I agree on that. Yeah, no, I also understand that point of view as well. You can't just keep doing that. You can't just keep doing that. Because maybe players will get the idea that we are going to be sold on for a profit. But maybe players understand that and they can see Chelsea as a good stepping stone for them. I don't really know, but yeah, looks like Amari Hutchinson will be moving on. He will be moving on at the end of the season. So, at the end of this summer, he's going to be moving on. Stuttgart, the favourites. Let's wait and see what happens on that front. So that is the latest on Amari Hutchinson. Amari Hutchinson will not go on loan. He will leave only on a permanent deal. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens to that. Host of clubs are interested. Let's see what happens on that front, people. So Hutchinson will be leaving the football club, it looks like. What else have we got? We have got news on a couple of strikers. Let's start with Benjamin Sesko. And again, as we knew, Chelsea is very serious about signing Benjamin Sesko, who has a £55 million release clause. That's reported by Ben Jacobs. So yeah, guys, I think it's clear. I think it couldn't be any clearer. I think it's clear as day right now, people, that Benjamin Sesko is the number one choice for Chelsea. It's going to be competition for his signature. Arsenal are definitely interested. So let's wait and see what happens on that front with Arsenal. They're going to have the Champions League football. Will he play more regularly there? I don't know. Chelsea are going to have to do a lot of convincing. Conference League settings for us. But again, at 20, just turning 21, you know, he's got time on his side. So we could see a situation, people, where he, you know, where he thinks the project's good, he'll grow into the project, he'll develop. Chelsea will be back in the Champions League at some point, or he just goes with the best offer available to him, or the one that's most attractive. I personally don't know. I just don't know what the answer is on that one. Just pay the release clause. Fair enough. Chelsea should sign Sesko ASAP before Arsenal sign him and ruin his career. I would pay. Yeah. 55 million is big. Big up. Yeah, of course. Agreed. Yeah, look, I think Gyökeres is obviously more developed, more rounded than Sesko. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's absolutely fair. We are literally a mid-table club from now on. We'll probably never win it. I mean, that's a bit extreme. I think Gyökeres would be better if we get Sesko be coming off the bench. I don't know. I think Sesko would play at Arsenal as well. Nah, it's not a chalkboard. Basically, it's like the people that lived there before obviously had children, and it's like it's basically blackboard paint, so you can just draw on it, and it's still there, and I haven't moved it. So that's what that is. I haven't just put up some random blackboard. It's just like you just draw on it basically. Not particularly interesting, but yeah, that's the story behind that. But does Osimhen want Chelsea? I've got no idea. It doesn't really matter whether he wants Chelsea or not. The finances are ridiculous. The finances in the deal are outrageous. So to me, it doesn't really matter if he wants it. You know, sign Gyökeres and Sesko. I mean, we're not going to get two. I mean, I wouldn't have thought so. But again, this is Chelsea, and never say never. Again, you know, we got to stop taking one report as gospel. Arsenal are absolutely interested, but you know, do they want? Have they got other candidates? Are they, you know, are they looking at other players? Are they set on Benjamin Sesko? There's definitely interest there from Arsenal. And maybe he might prefer a move to Arsenal. Doesn't mean that he wouldn't be open to a move to Chelsea. You know, no, exactly. You know, this is the thing with transfers. You've got to agree. You've got to, you know, ascertain the player wants to move first. Once you understand the player's keen to move and you've agreed personal terms, then you move in and sort the fee out. There's no point bidding or activating a release clause for a player that you know is not interested in joining the club. You know, that's the reality. Yeah, they've not been great, but to say we're never going to win a Champions League again is I think it's taking it a bit too far. But yeah, they've not been good. Absolutely, they've not been good. I don't think anyone's denying that. Bro, yeah, some players will want Champions League. Absolutely. Conte will get Lukaku, and can we try 31st of August to sign Osimhen? Look, I don't think Chelsea are going to sign Osimhen. That's my thought. I look, things could change in football. Right now, everything is suggesting that Chelsea are not going to be signing Victor Osimhen this summer. So yeah, Gyökeres has everything Maresca looks for: drag backs, links up, well, good finishing. Yeah, he's a well-rounded player. But again, I'll be honest. I don't think Chelsea are looking to spend big money this summer on players. I really don't think they are. Gyökeres will be £88.5 million release clause, 100 million euros. I think Chelsea, will spend money, but I don't think we're going to see, top fees being paid by Chelsea. We've already made £200 million signings, 2 British record transfer signings, £60 million signings and whatnot. I'm not saying the club won't spend big money. I just don't think we're going to be seeing the top money being shelled out for players this summer. This is the 4th window of the 4-window plan that they've been talking about. Let's wait and see. But the interest is absolutely clear. The interest is there in Sesko. I think it's obvious that Sesko is Chelsea's number 1 choice this summer. But there's going to be competition for his signature, and we're going to have to convince him, because we haven't got Champions League football to offer. So we're going to have to convince him. Gyökeres' injury, by the way, is not serious. It was literally, a preventative procedure. It's just a preventative procedure on his knee. Nothing serious. He's absolutely fine. So yeah, I think Sesko is the number 1 choice. Is this going to gather pace before the Euros comes in? I don't know, but let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see on that front. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from Sesko. There's also been talks about another forward. There's been talks about another forward. Let me see if I can find it. Fulham. Again, Fabrizio saying that Chelsea could look for another centre back, but it depends on Chalobah. I think that's obvious. We know that. Let's have a look here. So, we've got news on Rodrigo Muniz. Sorry, Chelsea made contact with Rodrigo Muniz at Fulham to evaluate the possibility of buying him. Now, Muniz, we know, scored 8 goals in 8 Premier League games at the back end of last season or whatever. Again, I'm not really look. He done well at the end of the season. I'm not really too sure how good this guy is, but Rodrigo Muniz is gaining value at Fulham and is attracting the interest of some of England's biggest clubs. The 23-year-old striker scored 10 goals last season and is in the sights of Premier League clubs Chelsea and Spurs. 10 goals in 33 matches. Muniz has gained notoriety. In the last 16 games played for Fulham last season, he scored 9 goals, all in the league. Yeah, that's basically... so the valuation. So last season, 2 clubs in Brazil tried to sign him, but Fulham wanted 8 million euros. Today, Fulham's valuation is likely to be valued at between 30 to 40 million euros. So we're looking at around between sort of 25 and 35 million pounds. That is what we're looking for. I don't really know how good Muniz is, to be perfectly honest. But this is the sort of strikers we're going to be looking at. This is the sort of striker we're looking at, guys. There's obviously going to be fullback options, and these are sort of the options we're looking at. And I think we've got to be realistic here, people. The options in the market, in the striker market, aren't that great. We're not going for Osimhen, so that leaves you Sesko. Tony's stock's fallen a bit. I don't think we're going for him. there's obviously Gyökeres, but it doesn't look like we're going for him. And then you're left with very, very few options. We're then left with very few options, which, yeah, is a little bit concerning. If we don't get Sesko, guys, yeah, I think it could be a bit problematic for us. If we don't get Benjamin Sesko, I think we could be in problems. I think we are, at the next level down. We're looking at the John Durans. We're looking at the Menezes. Maybe we might look at Artem Dovbyk. I'm not sure, but there's not really been anything to suggest that we are looking at Dovbyk. Chelsea have definitely watched Gyökeres. There's definitely been interest in there, but whether they're going to act upon said interest, remains to be seen, guys. Whether we're looking to act upon the interest does remain to be seen. Yeah, I absolutely prefer Tony, but again, if there were slight concerns about the age of Osimhen, that automatically rules out a move for Ivan Toney. I'm not sure what I don't know what's going to happen here. Moneyball struck. I was sure Osimhen ain't coming. Sesko's unlikely. These guys want Jackson to have a straight pathway. I don't know. No, I'm really not sure. Look, we could play Nkunku up front. There's a possibility there, but again, that's not a long-term solution. That's not his best position. But maybe it will just be a slightly lesser name. Oh, mate, we need that Sesko signing, guys. We actually do need it now, because I know he's not exactly what we're looking for necessarily in terms of age and experience and ability to come in and make the team better straight away. But yeah, to me, right now, he's looking like the best of a pretty poor bunch of options, really. That's the reality of the situation. Looking at the best of a pretty poor bunch of options here. Yeah. I've seen that. I've been through that. Cheers. Yeah. Well, no, he's. I don't think he is. But with the names we're being linked with and the options that are out there right now, he probably is the best option. Doesn't mean that I agree with it, but he probably is the best option. That's the reality. That's what we're dealing with. The market's not that great. We've got to be real here, guys. The market's not great. The market really isn't that great. Certainly for strikers. Certainly for strikers. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens on that. Let's wait and see what happens on that front with the strikers. But the striker situation is interesting. Absolutely. There's not really much further news on anything to do with Michael Elise. There's not an awful lot of updates on that front, to be honest. We're going to wait and see what happens. We're going to have to wait and see what happens on that one. Hutchinson, we know, is obviously going to be moved on this summer. Sesko, he seems like the one we're most interested in. Menezes, apparently we've looked at, but again, I don't know how true or how serious that interest necessarily is. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. But yeah, let's wait and see, people. Let's wait and see. Yeah, no, he is for soccer age. Yeah, he absolutely is. What are we going to do with Nico? Well, we're going to use him. We're going to play him. Jackson will get plenty of games. He'll get plenty of games. By the way, guys, have we moved any closer to the 8K? Are we on 9.77 yet? Let's have a quick look. Have we progressed? No, we haven't yet, guys. We're still on 9.76. I think we need a couple more subscribers to tick over to 9.77. One more. Guys, let's try and get 10 more. Let's get to 9.78. Even let's try and add... No, let's get... Look, guys, what I'm saying is, hit the subscribe button. Let's get towards the 10K mark. Let's get to 9.77. It's one more subscriber. There's over 250. There's just under 250 in the building. There's people in here who aren't subscribed. They're taking the piss, quite frankly. Hit the subscribe button. Join the channel. Be in with the chance of winning a shirt when we reach 10K. Yeah, and keep running those likes up as well. But smash the subscribe button, guys. We're edging ever closer to the 10K. Let's do it. Bro, 10K is not happening in this video. We're not going to get another 230 subs. But I appreciate the optimism. But yeah, guys, keep smashing the subscribe button. Keep running those likes up as well. What are we on? 150 likes. Let's push this more towards the 200 mark. Let's push this to the 200 mark, people. Let's do it. Let's do it. Subscribe. Smash that subscribe button down there. Smash the thumbs up button. What are people saying in the chat? But yeah, let's move off this Manish stuff, and let's have a look at a few other bits and pieces that are going on. What else have we got here? Let's have a look at some exclusive info. Simon Phillips. Let's have a look if I can open this. I can. Okay, so let's have a look. No, I can't open that. So Chelsea are serious. Yeah, Milos Kerkez is under consideration, as are the likes of Somerville and Michael Elise, as we know. Goalkeeper, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we know that. We're aware of it. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens on this front, because things are starting to heat up now. Now that the noise about the goalkeeping situation has died down, let's see if anything else hots up. You know, we should get the Tosin Adarabioyo announcement later on this week. So yeah, I wouldn't be yes. Big up to Vindaloo. Lukaku 38 mil, Lewis Hall 28 mil, Broya 20, Hutchinson 20. We can generate 106. So, you know, we don't need. This is the point. We don't need to sell anyone else. So maybe, hopefully, we're selling. Hopefully, the sale of Hutchinson maybe can cancel out the sale of Chalobah. Maybe we sell Hutchinson instead, because I don't think we were planning on selling Hutchinson originally this summer. So maybe there's going to be a different plan there. What if we give Lukaku another ride on this merry-go-round? Look, I wouldn't have been dead against it, but he's got no intentions of coming back. No intentions of coming back whatsoever. So yeah. Anyway, let's dive into a little bit of other news. We've got the Reece James news that you know, obviously sent off against Brighton. He is not going to. Chelsea's bid to cancel Reece James' suspension for the start of the next season under Enzo Maresca has been unsuccessful after their reasoning for the captain's kick out on João Pedro was rejected by the FA. I'm not really surprised. It's worth a try. It was pointless trying to overturn it. I don't know why we tried to. Well, I know why we tried to overturn it, because we didn't want him banned for the first 3 games. So I think we knew it was never going to get overturned. So, I mean, intention to harm Mr. Pedro. He was simply pushing him away with his foot. I mean, guys, seriously, what are we doing here? Disorientated, and it was his intention to push him away with his foot. I mean, seriously, like I know the FA are idiots, but I don't think they're that stupid. The FA independent panel unanimously refused to buy this justification, upholding the 4-game ban. Means he's going to miss the first 3 games of next season. In their written reasons for the decision, the FA document states the account of Mr. James was not persuasive. It is evident from the video evidence that Mr. James does not kick out at the opposing player, catching him below the left knee. It was not accepted that he was in some way disorientated. The player was running away from him. This was not merely a coming together. Moreover, it was not accepted that he simply used his leg to push the opposing player away. That was James. Yeah, so basically, Chelsea tried a cheeky appeal. Reece James is still going to be banned for the first 3 games of next season. And that's where we are, guys. That is where we are on that front. Reece James is going to be banned for the next 3 games. It's worth a try. It was utterly pointless, but it was certainly worth a go, guys. Certainly worth a go. I think we knew it was going to be rejected. You got to try these things, because being without him for the first 3 games of next season is not ideal. Let's dive into a little bit of let's have a quick look what else is going on here. I was going to go through something else and I just can't remember where it was now. Where do you see Gusto playing next season? Well, he's going to play right back. He'll rotate with Reece James. There's plenty of games to go around, so it's fine. There's not an issue of that at all. Gusto and Badia should have been left out of the France squad for the Olympics. Chelsea didn't want them to go. Of course, in an ideal world, guys, it'd be great for players to go to the Olympics. But with Malo Gusto, I understand it's a home Olympics. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But particularly given A, Reece James's fitness, and B, the fact that he's missing the first 3 games of the season, it would have been utterly stupid for Chelsea to give him. It'd be utterly stupid for Chelsea to give to give Gusto permission to go and play in the Olympics, given those circumstances. It would just be utterly ridiculous and really wouldn't make any sort of sense whatsoever. And what about the rumours going on about Hutchinson? Arsenal I don't think Arsenal do have a 50% sell-on clause. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to, because if he you can invert from the left-hand side of Cucurella, or you can invert with Reece. I'm sure Gusto can invert, but it doesn't have to be inversion from the right-hand side. You can invert from the left. It's not tied down specifically to just one side. So yeah, in terms of Enzo Fernandez and the Olympics, that's a little bit more complicated. Let's just quickly go through that. Enzo Fernandez had previously looked set to represent Argentina, which Pochettino was prepared to approve. But Enzo Maresca has also pushed back his inclusion, as he wants to maximize his chances of hitting the ground running with the Blues. I absolutely hear that. I absolutely hear that. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. As much, I know, the Olympics is serious for South American countries, but Enzo, he missed preseason last season, and we need him there for this preseason. This is a really important season for him. We need him there. New manager, new system, new way of going. So yeah, as much as it's disappointing for him, it's the right decision. We have to do it. We have to do it. Says Copa America bound Enzo Fernandez had previously looked set to represent Argentina following herniary surgery, with Pochettino said to prepare to be approved the move. But Maresca has pushed back on his inclusion as he wants to maximise his chances of hitting the ground running at Stamford Bridge. There is also a concern that Fernandez's fitness must be managed carefully this summer following his operation. Leslie Ugochukwu is in the squad, however, as he looks to bank some vital minutes after missing the majority of last season with injury. Yeah, I think it absolutely makes sense, by the way, guys, for Enzo not to go. I don't think a final decision has been made yet, but I think it's pretty clear that, you know, Chelsea don't want him to go. But apparently there's going to be one more round of talks on that front. One more round of talks, and then I think a final decision is going to be taken. But I think Enzo Fernandez just needs to realise that, you know, it's not because we don't want him to go. It's because, you know, we need him for the team. And it's going to be most beneficial for him to be there, particularly under a new manager. You need to be there for the pre-season. You've got to be there for the pre-season. It's as simple as that. Like, you must, you know, we can't have a situation where we're going into, you know, the pre-season with Enzo missing the pre-season, probably missing the first few games of the season, given how late the Olympics finishes. And look, I do empathise with him, but it's wise for Chelsea to stop him from going. You know, he's competing in the Copa America. He's had surgery. We're at a crossroads again with as a club, new manager, new ideas. The pre-season's vital. Is there a risk that the player could be unhappy? Sure. But I think in the long run, you know, I think we just take it on the chin and kind of crack on. I really do believe that will be the case. Just take it on the chin and crack on. That's how I see it, and I think that's how it needs to be seen. Because there's so much change at the football club. So much change at the football club. We need him there. And I personally don't think we should allow him to play in the Olympics. That's just my view. That's just my view on the matter, guys. I don't think Enzo should be playing in the Olympics. Simple as that in my mind. What else have we got popping off here, guys? What else have we got popping off? Not too much, I don't think. I just have one quick look in the chat. Yes, big up, big up, big up. No, it was never going to have control. There was never going to be like managers at Chelsea don't get control under this ownership. Reportedly input, but he's not going to be signing the players. No. See, if our club's situation would have been normal, I would have let Enzo go to the Olympics, but he's going to play under a fifth manager in 3 years. Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't think Madrid will go to the Olympics. No. No, he shouldn't be going to the Olympics. We need him. He's an important player for us. Simple as that. Yes. Soon come the 10K. Soon come. The people know what to do. Subscribe. It's as simple as that, guys. It is absolutely as simple as that. Let's try and get to 9.78. 8 more subscribers. On the way out, guys, I'm going to round this one out here now. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big day. Robert Sanchez staying. Enzo Maresca announced. More links with strikers. Who knows what tomorrow is going to hold. But big up to every single one of you that's tuned in tonight. It's greatly appreciated. As always, the support doesn't go unnoticed. On the way out, make sure you smash the like button, guys. Get this up towards 200 likes. And now subscribe to the channel. Every new subscriber helps. Help me get to 10K. If you're locked in now, you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Shirt giveaway at 10K. Being with a chance to win. Help me out. Love for the support. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I'll be back 5 p.m. tomorrow with all your latest Chelsea news. Let's see what tomorrow's got in store for us. But until then, smash the likes, subscribe, up the Chelsea. Enjoy your evening, guys, and peace out.